Kyrgyz rural life, especially in wintertime, is very hard. Particularly, it is a difficult situation with drinking water, house heating and sanitation. There are many problems in these fields. Given all these problems, we implemented a partnership project, an ecologically safe and comfortable house. The purpose of this project is to introduce new technologies and innovations in the life of the rural population based on its own experience. In this regard, the exhibition centres were opened in 9 villages where new technologies were displayed. In addition, the information is shared among the local people. The views and ideas of local people are being collected. I should mention that currently 3 rayons heighten their interests in new technologies. Community Drinking Water Users Union were our main partners in the implementation of this project. Our aim was also to ensure their sustainability through implementation of various projects. I also want to express my gratitude to the local state bodies, public organisations and local people for their contributions to this project. The guests of Mr. Kabakbay Bilalov are surprised that the toilet was located right next to his house. In case of availability of the house owner, he could have clearly answered all of the questions.
One can construct the Ecosun toilet in any place, inside or outside of the house. There is no need to move such toilet, it can stay forever. It is good for the rural areas which lack a sewer system.
To be brief, the Ecosun, i.e. a fully ecological sanitary, was named for a reason. The villagers are forced to place their toilets as far as possible from their houses, as these toilets do not meet sanitary standards and may be detrimental to human health. The Ecosun is safe in this sense. It can be placed both inside and outside the house. Now the Kyrgyz people have become aware of the innovation which is introduced from developed countries.
The peculiarity of this toilet is in separating feces from urine. If feces mix with urine, it turns into poison. Separately, they may be used as a natural fertilizer.
That's how the CDWUU chair of the Dolon village explained to us about the basic principle of the Ecosun. We will talk about the natural fertilisers later, but now let's see to the construction peculiarities of such toilet. As it was mentioned before, the specific peculiarity of the Ecosun toilet is in separating faeces from urine. 2 chambers with a height of 80 centimetres each are set upon the foundation. Then the monolith plate is put on them and the 2 toilet sinks for both urine and faeces are mounted and the faeces is collected in the chambers. The venting pipe is installed between them. On average, 1 chamber is filled every 2 years. Once full, it should be firmly closed and the second chamber can be used. As for the urine, it goes through a pipe from the toilet to a barrel, which is buried in the ground outside the toilet. Unlike usual toilets, there is no need to flush this toilet. Both the urine and the hand-washing water goes outside to a septic tank. There is no need to move the Ecosun from one place to another. Just put it in one place and use permanently. When constructed and used properly, there is no unpleasant smell, no flies and other insects, and people will be protected from many infectious diseases.
This plant was not nourished by the urine and just grew 12 centimeters in height, while the nourished one grew for 52 centimeters.
Bolot Asakanov's trees grew 3 times faster. This is a result of the proper use of the Ecosun waste. For example, the compost produced from the preserved faeces turns into a really good conditioner and fertiliser. The urine in the barrel comprises of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium and other minerals, and is a very good type of natural fertiliser. The plants fertilised with such substances usually grow fast, producing a good yield. Mr. Asankanov can increase the family income with the appropriate application of the fertiliser received from the Ecosun toilet. For example, 1 metre of spruce trees costs $100 at the market.
Last year the spruce grew by 45 centimeters, this year by 52.
Thus, the Ecosun toilet brings an economic benefit. Besides, it does not harm the environment or pollute the groundwater. People who care about nature value these kinds of toilets.
Firstly, the groundwater in our village is closely located to the Earth's surface, so we need to keep them pure. Secondly, we live at the territory of Ecosun Lake and we need to care about the environment, just not only by words, but also by actions.
Mrs. Ainura Uzakova a deputy chairperson of the CDWUU of the Munduz village, also perceives that the Ecosun will influence on future life in Kyrgyzstan. Look, the Ecosun is very convenient for women. Kyrgyz people used to place a toilet far away from the house. It is cold in the winter time for women in Kyrgyzstan to go far away to use a toilet. The Ecosun toilet is warm and comfortable, one can wash their hands. It is very good for feminine hygiene as well. Sawdust must be added to the toilet in order to keep it dry and without a bad smell. One can use sawdust or ashes. Mrs. Amagul Kalikova is one of the owners of the Ecosun toilet. She informs the villagers about the benefits and convenience of the dry closet. Such innovative people can support the work of the Kyrgyz Water and Sanitation Alliance on sharing of the Ecosun movement among the villages of the Isikul region.
Мойтесь суши, мойся шея, хорошенько, мойся, мойся, обливайся, грязь смывайся.
These children, who wash their hands and face every day, do not so far realise that this is the service of the sun. The kindergarten staff are ready to talk about the solar collector, which was set up for them based on the project proposal that they won. Hot water is very much needed. They wash the dishes 3 times a day. They soak the washing, as a lot of water is needed to wash after chlorine disinfectant. We bathe the children and wash their hands. Electricity is limited, and the water is heated for free by the sun. About 100 children are brought up in the kindergarten, the Talisu village. A 150-litre solar water collector was set up to provide for their cleanliness. Similar collectors will serve the pupils from the elementary classes of the Munduz village starting in the new school year.
This is a dining room for the children. We installed the hot water pipe. Now we will finish the construction.
It is clear that physicians find it difficult to work without hot water. Therefore, the rural medical health post, as well as the children's dining room, were connected to the collector.
Here is our medical health post. It is being renovated, but the hot water pipe is already laid down. Now, to protect the collector from the cattle, we want to plant trees and shrubs around the medical health post.
Look, the water is like in Bishkek. We did not pay a single sum for it. No need to worry about paying for electricity. You just enjoy the water. Mrs. Guljamal Rakhmatuldeva calls the hot water from the collector a gift from God. She really needs hot water in the house. Her husband, Jumabek, is paralysed, and she has been taking care of him for 16 years. She tries to forget the past and is glad that her life is much easier now. Fetching water from the washing machine was previously a problem. Now we have hot water. We can wash and rinse the clothes. If we install a shower, we would be able to bathe Jumabek. No need to ask someone to prepare a bathhouse.
We brought urban life to the village. Now women do not have to boil water in a cauldron, can wash the clothes with ready warm water, save time and will not get cold. This is very good.
Representatives of the local authorities, like Mr. Kuban Ichbek Ismailov, understand the difficulties of young women in the villages and support such activities of the Kyrgyz Water and Sanitation Alliance. They say that such solar collectors are to be installed in the communal bathrooms and for the needy families.
Innovations must be accepted and disseminated. Getting the hot water with help of the solar collector will let people enjoy it. Our rural life will change. Within 1 month, 3 stoves have been constructed.
Currently, Mr. Tilek Musayev is highly respected by his villagers. Is it so easy? Tilek participated in a special training. He learned how to construct the energy-efficient stoves, and he helped a few families to create conditions for saving money in the winter.
Previously, we used to buy 1 ton of coal. Now we will probably buy less than half of it. This stove is really an economical one.
Mr. Raimbek Janimanov is preparing to spend his first winter with a new stove. Before that, he had to learn the rules for its operation.
The peculiarity of this stove is thrifty use of fuel and does not smoke. The food is cooked quickly and kept warm for a long time. The type of stove depends on the house. There are multi-turn stoves up to 5-6 hectares. A 4-turn stove is good for this house. This stove option is for heating. It cannot be used for cooking meals. We attach it to hot water, installed the heating boiler. It has water inside. Hot water flows by pipe to the other room and keeps it warm for a long time.
The family of Mr. Zamir Asinbayev experienced the effectiveness of the energy-efficient stove in the mountain area during last winter.
Every year we used to buy 2.5 tons of coal. Now we will buy only 1 ton for the energy efficiency stove.
Another type of energy-efficient stove is the hearth. This is a very necessary thing in the countryside. Many hearths were set up in the Toguz Bulak village. The neighbouring villagers study the experience of this village with great interest. Mr. Abduldayev Salamat came to the Toguz Bulak village from the Adn Oston village specifically to see such a famous stove. What he likes most is that the fuel consumption is reduced threefold.
It turned out that we used to burn a large amount of wood and coal. It is possible to cook the food with a small amount of firewood. New technology is very good. There is a big demand for it. The masters work continuously.
Several training courses on German technology for constructing the energy-efficient stoves were conducted in the Resource Centre of the Kyrgyz Alliance for Water and Sanitation. The newly trained masters now travel to other oblasts and spread new technologies among people. Thus, on the one hand, they have to share a new technology, and on the other hand, they are employed. A rapid sharing of this technology among the population is being observed right now. A little girl, Tamara, likes to make various experiments on the solar dryer. It seems that she has inherited such scientific interest from her grandfather, a former teacher of physics, now an honoured pensioner.
We made an experiment. These dandelions were collected in May, dried in 2 days at a temperature of 15 to 16 degrees. This is horsetail. It dried in June in 1 day and did not lose its color. The frame is made of wood. There are 2 layers. The outside is made of glass, the inside is made of metal. Painted with a black color, it attracts sun rays and transmits the heat. It is waterproof, does not get wet, the sun rays do not directly penetrate it, and it dries quickly. A pure product is received.
Despite the fact that it looks very simple, it has a lot of secrets, says Mr. Urmat Azabayev, who made the solar dryer himself. Even though the Resource Centre of the Kyrgyz Water and Sanitation Alliance has been operating for a long time, he has currently got more than 20 orders. The Ecosun region is famous for its berries and fruits, so the solar dryer is a necessary device. It is a good support for a family. I plan to dry apples in the autumn and offer them to the school. Children need the vitamins. I plan to make kurut and sell it. In order to strengthen the local capacity in 2012, the Kyrgyz Water and Sanitation Alliance organised 9 exhibitions and established 3 resource centres under 7 Rural Public Consumers of Drinking Water Users Association and 2 NGOs of the Ecosun region, aiming at sharing the advanced technologies. The villagers and other concerned people have the opportunity to come here and to see what they are interested in and how it works. Experts are ready to provide full information and advice. Because of this, the Alliance decided to organise several exhibitions. Thus, the private houses opened their doors to all of the interested persons too. How the modern technologies work in the conditions of daily life. All of this can be seen on the basis of real examples. Such exhibition centres have become popular among the population.
People come every day to see a new toilet. They are interested and have mentioned our good achievements. They understand that we have the urban conditions here. Here is my neighbor Kamti. He ordered to install it in the house. After this, Sadir, the father of my son-in-law, took the toilet measurements and decided to order it too.
All the information from the exhibition goes to the resource centres. Special shops have been established to fulfil orders of the clients.
The solar collectors, dryers, Ecosun toilets and sinks are constructed in this shop. We make the stoves and train the young people on how to make them.
Around 10 people work in the shop in the Chirak village. Thus, in addition to providing services, the Kyrgyz Water and Sanitation Alliance was able to create jobs for the young people. For example, at present, this shop was ordered to make 5 solar collectors and 40 sinks for the Ecosun toilet. Nobody thinks of the price, as it makes life easier for the rural population and therefore it is becoming widespread. In addition, it should be highlighted that the goal of the Alliance is the same: to introduce the innovations aimed at constructing the ecologically safe, friendly, comfortable houses for the population, and thus to create new ways of life, and also to strengthen the local capacity aimed at protecting the environment.
I'm going to build a small, suitable home for me.
These are the children's opinions on the project Environmentally Safe and Comfortable House. So far, they study at school, but when they finish school and step forward to an adult life, there is no doubt this young generation will endeavour to use modern conveniences in everyday life. They are now trying to introduce the newest advancement in their villages. People participate at the workshops on nature, drinking water, sanitary hygiene. Information about the facilitation of the population's lives in the remote rural areas are covered in the meetings of open days. The experience exchange meetings are held very often in the 9 villages which work with the project. During these meetings, the children have the opportunity to share their views of life with the elder people through drawings and stories. When Mr. Jailu Bektusunov had been working as the head of the RPCWUA in the Togos Bulak village, he was elected as the head of the Ayil Okmutu as people showed great trust in him. Despite the promotion, Bektursunov still monitors the purity of water in his village. His first assistants in such activity are children. Do people water cattle here? Schools were involved in building awareness in the 9 villages covered by the project. For example, in the Dolon village, the school started introducing the Ecosun technology.
At the beginning of the project, such meetings are usually organized. The project specialists inform the village inhabitants about innovations by visiting every house and asking their opinions.
A demonstration centre was opened in the school area. We organise excursions for the students. We show positives of the project, and then they inform their parents about it. The first time we heard about it from the teachers. Now we inform the children about it. They in turn tell their parents. There are many people who are interested in this activity already. Secondly, we carry out the joint activities with the school parliament, organise the Club of Cheerful and Resourceful People, KVN, and the weekly actions covering these topics, as well as provide explanations about it. Currently, a school parliament provides information about solar collectors, energy-efficient stoves, and shares it among the villagers in the form of a game. The elder generation representatives say that the more conveniences that are established in the villages, the more chances that young people will stay in their villages, and the amount of the youth employment will also be increasing.
The Western innovations opened our eyes. The devices made by others can be made by the Kyrgyz as well. The more innovations we introduce in the villages, the better and easier life will be in the rural areas.
Kabakbai Aksakal, a wise old man, is happy that his 3 neighbours have installed the Ecosun toilets. He does not consider it as a result of his own promotional activities, but as an achievement of all the Isikul population.
We live in a society. Each of us has to be clean. Only then the good conditions for preservation of the environment will be created.
There is deep meaning in the words of Asakal. The clean environment on the one hand is necessary for the Kyrgyz nation's health, and on the other hand, to gain a profit.
When tourists hear about Kyrgyzstan, they imagine our mountains. After this, they believe that Kyrgyz are nomadic people.
Mr. Bakut Chontonbayev has been working in the tourism sector for more than 12 years. He lives in northern Isikul, in the Bokonbayevo village, where the resource centre was established, aimed at the agri-tourism and innovation technologies. According to Bakut, 90% of Western tourists are interested in this type of tourism.
Since ancient times, the human being was linked with nature. Now the Europeans are tired from civilization and want to return to nature. They stay in yurts, eat meals cooked from natural village products, ride horses, have journeys on foot, visit historical places.
This small yurt town is located near the Manjuli Atta. This is the time for preparing to receive tourists. The community introduced innovations that are both good for the environment and support sustainability of nature. All of this attracts foreign tourists.
Ecotourism is not harmful for the environment and local culture.
The philosophy of the Kyrgyz Water and Sanitation Alliance is not to harm nature, but to improve the life of local population and to increase income of families. It has found a lot of support now. The number of those who are willing to widely expand its activities are increasing. All of them hold festivals, Kizil Uruk, Isikul Saram Sagi, Tuk Bali, on their own initiatives, which give opportunities to meet each other and share their experiences. These festivals help to understand the needs and wishes of the population for future development. For example, the Isikul inhabitants' reception of the microcredits for sharing of the information of the new technologies was realised. Then, we can tell that the alternative and new technologies will be a push in the right direction for improving the living conditions of the villages and the development of the agri-ecological tourism. This project activity was very successful. We also learned a lot of lessons. According to our observations, the interest of the people in modern technologies and innovations is very high in the rural areas. Those people who have enough money can introduce these new technologies and use them. But the majority of the rural population cannot buy them due to their lack of money. Therefore, our goal is to support these projects with the help of various microfinance institutions. Then, village life will differ not so much from urban life. We still have a lot of work to do.